Well, hello and welcome to episode 31 of Cage Fight.
Shit, 31.
Wait, really? It's episode 31?
Yes.
That seems
Holy shit.
crazy to me.
Mm-hmm. We've been at this for a long freaking time now. And, Taylor, I think you're coming up on being on more episodes than you weren't on. So
almost, because I started on episode 17, so yeah.
Yeah. So, as usual, I'm Jess.
I'm Mike.
I'm Taylor. I'm the baddest bitch in this room.
And
we have a super special guest, comedian and a fucking joke extraordinaire, Dana Ehrman. How's it going?
Well, I was going to call myself the baddest bitch in the room, but then I found out that I was not that.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still okay to be the second baddest bitch in the room. To whoever.
Is that anything? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, being in the top 5 even is good. There's a lot of bad bitches these days, so.
It's good to know
there's 40 people in the room, but
in a room of 4 people, I'm at least in the top 5 bad bitches.
yeah.
Granted, though, Jess, if Dave was here, I mean, sad to say he's not.
Yes, Dave is not here.
Everyone.
Well, Dave is more of the sad bitches category.
Yeah,
but he's an emo sad boy.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that was the wrong one.
Just do it.
Damn it.
No.
There we go. It's like he's here.
No.
Yeah.
What? No.
There we go.
What?
I mean,
What?
He's effectively here, so.
Yeah. But yeah, in his absence, I am running the soundboard here, so you'll get to hear me do funny things like that. And, oh shit, I played the wrong one. I don't know this soundboard.
This is going great.
It's going so well, dude.
But we're here today to talk to you about the movies Birdy and Returning Champion Next.
Hell yeah. Returning from the, I think, first matchup.
The very first matchup that we did, yeah, all the way back on episode 2. So,
oh shit.
Good to see this thing come
What
up
did
again.
it face back then?
Bangkok Dangerous.
Oh, okay, sure.
And it just narrowly came through.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we were bribed with like 500,000 baht to eliminate Bangkok Dangerous. So
There were some powerful interests from Bangkok that didn't want it to get out there that it's dangerous there.
yeah,
I think there was some hacking involved in there, wasn't there?
Yeah, they actually tried to get us to watch a propaganda film instead called Bangkok Safe. And we flat out refused because we are not sellouts.
It was a propaganda film from the royal family to show how great Thailand is.
But yeah, without further ado, let's just launch into our discussion of Birdy.
Yeah, I don't want to spoil my thoughts too early, but probably one of the sexiest films I've ever seen.
Wow, glad we're on the same page there.
It's really hot. It's a really hot movie. I agree with that.
Certainly. So Birdy came out in 1984. This movie was rated R, directed by Alan Parker, and written by Sandy Krupp and Jack Baer. This was produced by A&M Films with a runtime of 120 minutes, a budget of $12 million. And does anyone want to guess red or black on this one?
I'm going to say black on this one.
Say this one's in the red. There's no way this movie made a shit ton of money.
I'll say it was in the black, but barely.
Unfortunately, Taylor is the only one who was correct here. It made $1.4 million, a little more than a tenth of its budget. So,
wow,
not a good time did they have.
If you're not familiar with Nick Cage's filmography, Dana, that's way more common than it is.
That is really true.
Yeah, right now at least. I'm sure we got all the bangers coming up. So
that's true.
That puts us at 22 out of 53 movies in the black. So, not good still.
Wait, what? How many movies in the black?
22.
Okay, I thought you said 53 movies in the black.
No, 53 total.
Okay, that seemed okay.
Like that seemed impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely impossible.
So on Rotten Tomatoes, this one got an 85% from critics and an 84% from audiences. So people tend to like this.
Wow.
Mamma Mia.
Mhm.
Mamma mia.
No, that's got Meryl Streep and Pierce Brosnan. This is Birdy.
Yeah, it's I get it confused because it also took place in a Oceanside hotel that is run by Meryl Streep.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I have for general facts, Mike, if you want to do some trivia.
Sure. Well, there's actually one piece of trivia that I'm surprised you didn't bring up, Jess, because I know you're such a freaking Pinkhead. The director of this movie directed the Pink Floyd The Wall movie.
Oh, when you said
so-
Pinkhead, I thought you were going to talk about the pop star Pink, but oh, shit. Okay.
Well, yeah.
That's not-
Well, Pink Floyd was inspired by Pink.
I actually didn't realize that at first. I don't think
You know,
about
hon-
the
you know,
Wall
honestly,
movie
though-
that much. But yeah.
Honestly, though, that's where I thought Mike was going with the Pink head. Like, I thought it was like, oh, Pink, like the musician. Like, oh, no.
Well, Pink also got her debut as one of the birds in the movie. So what else do I have for trivia? Then unknown Danny Glover was unscheduled to make a speech as a bit player, but because he kept botching his lines, his scenes had to be cut from the movie. So we missed out on some Danny Glover in this shit.
Damn.
And you should never miss out on Danny Glover. Never.
Well, I mean, Danny Glover did get famous years later from the Saw franchise, so he got his. But
Wait. I think you're thinking of a different movie called Rage. That's where he got the majority of his fame.
oh yeah. Returning player Danny Glover. Also, I have another thing for the checklist of weird shit that Nicolas Cage did to prepare for movies. If you're ready for that, he had 2 teeth removed without anesthetic for this role.
What the hell?
So,
Oh, okay, and you know what? Okay, I did know that fact because I was looking up interviews. Those were apparently still baby teeth.
what the fuck? Was he still a child?
So apparently you can get baby teeth up until you're like you can still like have baby teeth in your mouth until you're like in your 20s. That's a thing that's relatively common.
Oh, I still have baby levels of testosterone. But
That's fair, yeah.
I'm trying
I mean,
to get
I've
there.
seen you in real life. You have definitely not hit puberty, let me tell you.
I'll get there. And my last bit of trivia is that this was the first use of the Skycam in a feature film, which is a camera held by wires, and it was used in Birdy's dream sequence when he's like actually flying or whatever. So welcome Skycam to the world of cinema.
Lovely.
That's all I got.
Interesting. Any other famous uses of Skycam that I might know of?
Maybe in the Sky High, probably. Vanilla Sky. Just spitballing here.
Because you're flying high like a butterfly.
It was using the Lenny
I believe
Kravitz.
it's a dragonfly. Sorry.
A dragonfly. Listen, I don't listen to good music, okay? I wouldn't know all the lyrics to that song.
Yeah, Lenny
Like a
Kravitz
dragonfly.
is way cooler than a butterflies are for the weak, and dragonflies are valiant.
You know what I was thinking of? I was thinking of a combo of Lenny Kravitz and Crazy Town. That's what I was thinking of.
Oh, I see.
That would actually be pretty fucking good.
Lenny Town or Crazy Kravitz? Crazy Kravitz, hell yeah, let's make it happen.
Crazy Kravitz.
Oh, that old Crazy Kravitz. What is big old Crazy Kravitz gonna do this time?
Where is pants gonna split this time?
What if we get
Can we make it like Crazy Ralph from Friday 13th, but make him Crazy Kravitz?
can we get the Krampus in with Crazy Kravitz?
Oh shit.
Oh yeah, let's make it happen. I'm stuffing kids in the sack. Like, okay, yeah.
Like a butterfly.
Sugar, baby.
Okay, well that was a little.
This is good stuff.
Why does it always devolve into new metal? That's what I never understand.
Can Butterfly really be said to be new metal? I don't know what you would call that.
Okay, so
it's
no. Okay, so Crazy Town is a new metal band. There's no question about that.
That's true. That's
objectively a
true.
new metal
I
band.
just think that song isn't very new metal. And also the reason everything devolves into new metal is because you're here.
I know. I am the 6 degrees of new metal. That's what I am if I had a board game.
So if that's all the trivia you have, we might as well launch into a plot summary, I suppose, unless people have some fun things to add.
I think we can just get into it, honestly.
Yeah, the only thing I really have to add is that I auditioned for Matthew Modine's part in this movie, and that his character is the first furry in cinema.
Ooh.
So,
True.
well, I mean, birds don't have fur, but I think they're still part of the furry pantheon. I don't really know.
I feel like you can be a furry when your fursona can be a bird, I think. I guess it would be a feathersona. But this was before they had like that wide variety. You couldn't shop for furry costumes online at this time, so
it could be a bird sona.
Oh, that's true. That sounds pretty sexy. So yeah.
But yeah, anyways, with a plot summary. So we see that Cage is in a hospital with his face covered in bandages. He's apparently being released to go home, and he's like clearly wearing a military uniform with like some sergeant insignia. So it looks like, Cage got injured in action. We're gathering here. But then cut back to the 1960s, and we see that Cage's little brother asks Cage to get his knife back from a guy who he says stole it. Cage tries, but ends up leaving the knife with the guy, who he seems to respect for having some good fighting moves. That guy, nicknamed Birdy, keeps some pigeons in a cage in his backyard. Not Nicolas Cage, a cage. But
yes, a cage. And I will say, though, too, I think we have to reiterate that Nick Cage is shirtless in the scene, and he's looking fucking bomb. He looks so good.
He's absolutely glistening and shredded to hell. This is, again, in that perfect Cage era where he's looking like a goddamn Adonis.
Yeah, absolutely, just so hot, dude. I'd rest my head on. Never mind. I won't get into it. I won't be horny on this podcast for right now. And I will. Speaking of being horny for celebrities, when Birdy first showed up on the screen, I thought that was Crispin Glover at first. I'm like, oh shit, Crispin Glover's in this movie.
Well, Matthew Modine, the actor who plays Birdy, is a returning cage fight player. Because
oh shit, really?
He was the doctor in fan favorite Army of One.
Oh yes.
Oh shit! Are you serious? I didn't even notice that. What?
Damn.
Oh, that rocks.
Yeah, definitely one of the favorite ones on this show among these hosts. Dana, any chance you've seen Army of One?
I have not seen Army of One. No, I have not.
That's probably good for your soul.
Here's the thing. Yeah, it is. It's my second least favorite movie I've watched for this show. It's that bad. I hated that movie so much.
It is my second least favorite movie about trying to kill Osama bin Laden.
Number one being?
I mean, I guess Zero Dark 30 is the one that comes to mind. But if there's more, I will watch them.
There's so many.
Yeah, but the Army of One is the true story of Gary Faulkner, the man who thought he could single-handedly take down Osama bin Laden, and Birdy is his doctor. So there's it comes full circle.
Who gives him a loan? But yeah. But Cage apparently just taken a liking to Birdy, offers to help him catch more pigeons to put in his cage in the backyard. They begin going around town, like under bridges, catching pigeons and keeping them there.
And I will say, Jess, so you said under the bridge, right?
Okay, are you going to go into a Red Hot Chili Peppers reference here? Because I don't want to hear that.
Say, that was the inspiration for the Red Hot Chili Peppers song, right? Under the bridge, I saw some pigeons. Is that it?
Yes.
I don't ever want to feel like a pigeon, babe.
Take me to the place I fly away from here.
So we got several mashup potentials going on.
I should release an album.
At this point, we're going to have to. I think more singing than talking on this podcast. So
at certain points, we certainly do.
If you had warned me, I would not be on the podcast.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah.
That's only because I can't carry a tune. That's all. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with the quality of what you're doing.
Well, I mean,
listen, my beak is much worse than my pec. So there we go.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh.
Oh,
leave me alone. That song,
damn it! That's not the one. There we go.
I woke up yesterday with that song in my head, and I haven't heard it in I don't know 2 weeks or whenever we last we recorded.
I wake up
And,
every day with that song in my head at this point.
It's just
I do
in
too.
my psyche.
Oh my God.
But anyway, so Birdy makes pigeon suits for Cage and him, thus beginning his descent into freedom.
those first fursuits, yeah.
the first fursuits in existence.
And they put them on to go to a refinery late at night and catch some more pigeons. So they climb up to the roof, and it's dangerous. Cage is like, hey, we really shouldn't be up here. But Birdy's like, nah, it's cool. But Birdy ends up falling off, but clinging to the edge, acting like it's not very serious and saying like, I'm gonna fly.
I'm gonna fly, Allie. I'm gonna fly. Something like that.
And suddenly he lets go, and he lands on a pile of sand below and survives, but injured. So, cutting back to Cage in the present day, which I don't know when the military scenes are supposed to be taking place. Is that like, I assume it's late 70s.
They're in the mid 70s because Vietnam's still going on, so probably like the mid to early 70s.
Yeah. Cage sees Birdy, who is being held in a military psych hospital. And apparently Birdy went MIA in Vietnam for several months and hasn't spoken since he's been found. Cage has been sent there to visit him and see if he can maybe like jog his memory and snap him out of the state he's in. Birdy is always pretty much hunched over and crouched in strange positions. He won't feed himself and has to be fed by the nurses. Cage basically figures out like, hey, Birdy is a bird now. That's why he's crouching and perching on his bed and shit.
Cage goes in there and he has to like change his newspaper on the ground.
Every time he tries to feed him, he's like, "Hey, Birdy, want a cracker?" Birdy,
Yeah.
And Birdy do.
Yeah, he whistles at him. No, he doesn't actually do that.
Yeah, he only whistles at like women that walk by.
Which is not many in a military psych hospital on the front, I think. Is it on the front? I don't know where it is.
And that's the thing we'll learn about Birdy. He's very interested in women, clearly.
Oh, yes.
He's a horn dog. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Really gets in the way of things.
He's always seeing women and going, "Oh, wooga wooga," and his eyes are popping out. That's weird.
Yeah, it's like the only time they can get him to talk is like when a freaking cartoon lady in a red dress walks by.
Cut back to the 60s, and after falling off of that refinery, Birdy's parents are tearing down the cage in the backyard and just burn the pieces even. It's just nothing left, nothing
Well,
remaining.
to be fair, tearing down the cage / aviary and tearing down Nick Cage's confidence too, right?
Yeah, that too.
Oh, that was a metaphor?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
In your defense, they're kind of trying to like hit you over the head with it, so it seems like so obvious that you can just miss it, you know?
Yeah.
I think so. I think I was like, could it be? No.
Yeah.
And then I moved on.
That happens, but you know that's why we're here to be, true believers and experts in art. So
After they destroy the aviary there, Cage convinces Birdy to give up on the pigeons for a minute and help him restore an old car. It's like a 50s convertible. Actually, looking it up, it appeared to be a 1953 Ford Sunliner. If you know what the hell that is, I didn't before.
should have
this
been
movie.
a freaking Thunderbird or something.
After working on the car for a while, they get it started, and Birdy reveals he's never been to the ocean. So Cage takes him there the next day, as well as like an amusement park. And they also go on like a double date together. And Birdy's acting kind of strange while they're on that double date, chatting with a girl while Cage has sex with the other girl. That was weird. But
Normal behavior.
How close of friends do you have to be with someone? How close of friends do you have to be with someone?
That's just what you did. That's just what you did back in the day. You went to the sock hop, got yourself a nice malt, and just watched your friend bang a girl right in front of you. That's just what you did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, everybody was just overtly sexual back then. It's like those stories of John Lennon and Paul McCartney jacking off together.
But I mean, if I don't have a friend that I would have sex in front of, do I really even have any friends?
That's a good point, honestly.
Yeah, that
Very
is a
good
good
question.
point. You have to really think about what friends you're comfortable, really partying in front of. For me, it would be like one of my good friends, Barack Obama. People like Kristen Glover, stuff like that.
Because Birdie's acting so strange, Birdie's date kind of storms off, annoyed that she's been stuck with Birdie, and the girl Cage was going out with, chases after her, and like Cage is upset. He's like, Birdie, you gotta be like more sociable and less weird, and Birdie's like, but I like being weird.
Well, if you want Birdie to make a move on you, you have to throw out some breadcrumbs for him.
Yeah, a little seed.
Yeah, I think we'll get into it. I think we'll get into it later on because there's definitely some very interesting moments with Birdie and women. But Birdie is definitely an asexual icon, that's for sure.
Yeah, true. Ace.
Just makes me want him more.
Yeah.
Absolutely. He's forbidden fruit, if you will.
He's the only furry that doesn't have sex in the suit. Wait, I don't know that for sure. I don't want to shit on furries. Y'all get shit on enough. Whatever.
Yeah.
No, I mean, furries shit on themselves for fun, dude. Do whatever.
I feel fine slandering whoever. So if you want to say something controversial, just text it to me and I'll read it out.
Exactly.
But then all of a sudden, Cage and Birdie are getting arrested. So while they're in jail, Cage's parents pick them up, and his dad is like absolutely pissed, like slaps Cage around, and is just all around like an abusive ass. Apparently, he reported that car as stolen because he had registered it in his name, even though the Cage and Birdie are the ones who paid for it and fixed it up. So shitty dad.
Is the dad on Seinfeld? You know who I'm talking about? I think the dad is on Seinfeld, and he's like the friend of
he's
Gary's
like
dad.
Yeah, he's like one of the guys who lives in their like retirement complex.
Yeah, in Florida, and he's talking about the Cadillac.
Yeah, and the upside down pen and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so he's always been fixated on cars.
Yes, you are correct. He is the character Jack Klompus.
Yes.
Jack Klompus, yes.
It's funny that like this is his appearance on Seinfeld is only like 10 years after this, but he looks like 30 years older.
Agreed. I mean, it made me question if it was really him because the difference was so stark.
Yeah, I mean, they either did a really good job of making him look like a senior or he did not age well. I don't know.
Maybe both.
I think he just didn't age well. Like no white people really ever do if you think about
it. Hey, speak for yourself. I'm fucking gorgeous.
That's true.
More so every year.
You look just like you did in 7th grade, Mike.
I hope so.
That's true. You know, Mike, you don't look a day over 14. You're looking good. Brian Singer follows you on Twitter for different reasons. You gotta stop posting all those shirtless pictures, my dude.
Hey, if it gets me Brian Singer's attention, I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah.
He said he's gonna put me in the next X-Men.
Yeah, you're gonna be Wolverine in the new X-Men.
Yeah, I'm the new Wolverine. They said they would let me wear a shirt the whole time. So.
But anyway, so Cage's dad ends up selling the car also, and Birdie confronts him about it, like getting in a screaming match, saying like it wasn't your car to sell. And his dad ends up like relenting, all pissed, and he's like, "Here, take the fucking money from the sale." And he's like, "No, not taking that on principle. It wasn't yours." And storms out. Back to the present day, Cage is getting really frustrated with Birdie. Realizing he's acting like a bird, yeah. And Cage is also having like PTSD nightmares and being questioned by hospital staff himself. So like the hospital staff is getting pissed also that he isn't getting through to Birdie more quickly. He's about to be sent away by the military doctors, but he comes up with a plan to jog Birdie's memory by getting an old lady they live near to send them all the baseballs that they would lose in their yard as kids.
No, that was Birdie's parents. That was Birdie's mom.
Oh, it was Birdie's mom.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
given that this movie shows a lot of their life as kids, and this is a thing that's supposed to jog his memory, you'd think we would have seen those baseballs like at all, but not once in the entire movie. Did that ever happen? Like, did they play baseball at all?
Yeah, they did.
Just at the beginning.
Yeah, at the very beginning scene when Nick Cage and Birdy first meet, they were playing.
And
baseball.
also, being a soldier in war is kind of like baseball. You know, it's all a game. You know.
Oh
Yeah, that's true.
See, I was thinking, if you want to jog Birdie's memory and kind of, bring him back to his old self, maybe don't send baseballs. Like, maybe get a goddamn bird in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a pigeon. See what happens.
Like, good God. Like, things he actually has memories of.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Really likes.
I think they're just scared that he's so deep into birddom now that they don't want to entice him to go deeper.
So, back to the 60s. Birdy gets 2 pet canaries, and he builds an aviary in his bedroom to keep them in. His parents are concerned that he doesn't have more practical interests, and he seems to overall being kind of just be withdrawing from the world. He builds a pair of wings to fly, and Cage helps him test them out by giving him speed by having him sit on the front of a bike until he jumps off a mountain of garbage. Were they on they must have been on a landfill, but weird little.
Yeah,
scene.
they were on a landfill. Yeah. Well, also in that scene, I think there's something that needs to be remembered. He almost drowns when he falls into there's a giant puddle or something in the dump.
Yeah, pool of garbage water. But
I'm surprised he didn't get tetanus, honestly. Or Ebola. Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't get sick from that shit.
Something. Yeah.
E. coli, yeah. Ebola and E. coli.
Ebola, yeah.
Ebola, yeah.
We also get some monologue scenes from Birdy randomly, which is weird because there hasn't been a monologue at all the rest of the movie. Or, an overdub monologue over the scenes where he's saying all I want to do anymore is just watch the birds. But while giving a presentation on birds in his biology class, he catches the eye of a girl named Doris, who then asks him to go to the prom. While there, he dances really awkwardly with her, and eventually just kind of walks away to go talk to his dad, who works at the school as a janitor. After the dance, Doris drives him to a secluded spot and tries to have sex with him, but he's real awkward about it, and it makes Doris self-conscious.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to find the cloaca.
Honestly, that whole scene was hilarious because I'm like, he's not gonna do anything, is he? But then he's just like, I like your tits and everything, but I just want to be a bird, okay? It's just such an awkward scene, but it's so funny. I love that scene to death.
The only breasts I'm interested in are chicken breasts.
Yeah.
We were all thinking it, and you said
it. I wish I was thinking it. The only breasts I want are real. Just move on. I don't.
Are you saying chicken breasts aren't real?
I'm happy to move on.
So after Doris drops Birdy off at home, he strips naked and gets in his aviary to lay down and be with the birds. He says in one of those monologues again that he's in a dream that is as real to him as reality, and he wishes he could die and be born again as a bird. And honestly, I think the monologue here is that I feel like that was added after the first cut of the movie. They probably showed it to audiences and they're like, I don't understand what's going on here. Either that or they don't have faith in their audience. But basically he's just saying I want to be a bird. And if you just watch this movie closely, you're like, that dude wants to be a bird. You don't need to be told it. I don't know. That's all.
Yeah, I wasn't on the fence about whether or not I thought he wanted to be a bird. It was pretty crystal clear.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing, right? Is that character's name is Birdy. He has a bird suit, not a fursuit, a bird suit. He's got fake wings. He has a proto drone that he flies around in class at one point. And he just talks about how much he wants to be a bird. I don't think it's that clear. I think it needs to be a little bit more blatant in your face.
Yeah.
I'm glad they had that scene in there.
So the next day, Cage comes over and he finds Birdy naked in his aviary, and he's like, "Oh ho, so you slept with Doris last night and you never got dressed again. You were like too out of it or something." But Birdy slowly reveals like, "Nah, I'm just, I'm just having dreams of flying around as a bird, and like that's kind of the reality I'm living in at this moment." And Cage is like, "Birdy, like cut this shit out." And he just walks out, and we kind of flash forward and see him signing up for the army. And one of Birdy's canaries ends up killing itself by flying into a window. Birdy is dejected. And I think maybe that's what made him join the army. He's like, well, I don't have my birds anymore. I'm going to go fucking kill people in a foreign country to advance capitalism.
Yeah. I have nothing to live for. I might as well commit war crimes.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, to be fair, he was drafted, right?
Oh, he might have been.
No,
yeah.
I think he. I think he joined voluntarily. I don't remember him getting draft papers or. I mean, whatever. Who cares?
Yeah, I guess we don't know for sure. He could have been drafted. Both of them could have been drafted, but
I had the impression that Cage signed up voluntarily and Birdy was drafted.
Okay, you know what? That tracks, because Birdy doesn't strike me as the type of guy who would want to go to war.
yeah, he's a flyer, not a fighter.
Exactly.
He's all flight and no fight, basically.
Oh, God damn it. I was going to make that joke, but thank you so much for saying that.
I worked on this story for a year and you just tweeted it out.
Then we do see, like, flashing forward, that Cage was injured in an explosion that killed, like, his whole squad. And
yeah, it's pretty funny.
And Birdy was in a helicopter crash, after which he just kind of ran off into the jungle screaming. And then we see in, like, the present, Cage is just getting absolutely pissed at Birdy for not responding. He's like, Birdy, fucking say something. And then in response, like, Birdy gives him an eyes that say... There we go. Use that. The baseballs arrive, and they don't seem to snap Birdy out of it. And the doctors decide they're going to send Cage away. Like, you've done all you can do, and we don't want you around anymore. So... eventually, Cage rushes back into Birdy's room and just ends up holding him while Birdy cries, and he's crying, and he's saying, like, I'm staying, I'm gonna hide out here away from the war with you, away from the world, and I'm just gonna go crazy. Like, I'll throw shit at the walls and do whatever I want. He said that, not me, the throwing shit at the walls. I remember that clearly. And then Birdy finally speaks, saying to Cage, like, you're full of shit. But when the doctors come in, he stops speaking. And the doctors are going to take Cage away because, like, yeah, you're saying he's talking. Ooh, I think you're going crazy, too. So Cage gets, like, belligerent, tosses the doctors and the orderlies around, and he runs up to...
You have to do him. You have to, like, admit, it is a very, like, John Wick level choreographed, like, fucking fight scene going on between Nick Cage and the orderlies. It's really good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, after how long in the movie it just becomes an action film?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Essentially.
Finally, in the last 10 minutes, we get explosions and fist fights.
I mean, it's teasing it the whole time if you're kind of reading between the lines. But I could see it being a surprise to some, non-buffs.
Yeah.
Well, that is, I was not reading between the lines. So you got me there, man.
Not to throw shade, but again,
I picked up what you were putting down.
We are experts in art here, so.
Yeah, and using my expertise, I don't read between the lines. That's just space. Like, the lines are where the writing is. Duh. No. So, he runs with Birdy up to the roof, and while up there, Birdy jumps down, and Cage is like, no, Birdy, you killed yourself thinking you could fly. But, like, he looks over, and there's just another smaller roof, and Birdy looks up and is like, what? Why are you worried? And
wait, I'm sorry, Jess. I'm sorry, Jess. What does he say?
Wait, why are you worried? Well, no, he says what, I believe. That's it.
What?
Oh, fuck.
Say again?
What?
There we go.
Yeah!
Yeah. Birdy just says...
What?
There we go. Okay. I'm failing on my soundboard duties. I'm sorry. I'm not as good at this as Dave is.
And you know what? I will say, Jess, is that your plot synopsis?
Yes, that's the whole summary.
Okay, so I want to say a few things right off the bat. The ending, I was a little bit pissed off at the ending at first because of how anticlimactic it was, but it's honestly brilliant, and I want to explain why. It's a fucking brilliant ending. I love it because I'm sure you're aware of the rule of threes, right?
Yes.
So that was the third time Birdy did that. One off the refinery and then in the junkyard, and he almost dies both of those times.
Mm-hmm.
So you think on the third time he's actually going to die, and then it's like nothing happens. It's like, oh wait, what? The movie's fucking over. It's great. I love it.
Well, they're not in California, so they don't have the 3 strikes thing.
Yeah, right.
I did I did like that ending actually. I thought it was pretty funny. When he just looks up and says,
What?
It's like, I don't know.
It really subverts the audience's expectations, which my expectation was either he's going to die or he's going to fuck some birds.
Yeah.
So.
Or he was just going to turn to R. Kelly.
Well, and it subverted my expectations because I expected a good ending, and then
You know what? I will say though, I think it's a fantastic ending, and I will disagree with you, and we can fight now. I won't fight it out. I also do want to mention something you forgot to mention, Jess. There's a scene where Birdy and Nick Cage and like a dog catcher are going around catching dogs so they can bring them to a fucking dog food factory.
I did leave that out because it didn't seem very consequential to the plot, but yeah, that one
that scene fucked me up. That was like, wait, no, please. And I'm glad they didn't go in that direction. Cause I'm like, I don't want to see dogs get chopped up and be turned into dog food. I don't want to watch that.
Yeah. Well, they had a change of heart and they freed the dogs. So
Who let the dogs out, if you will?
Yeah, exactly. I'm so glad they decided not to go that route. Cause I'm like, oh no, please. Cause I mean, you do see animals die in this movie. So I assume what's gonna happen.
And if you watch the credits, they actually did kill animals for this movie. So.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's the same guy who directed this movie directed Cannibal Holocaust, right? Makes sense.
Yep.
But yeah, what's everybody's overall thoughts on this and not just the ending?
Probably one of the better movies of the century. And this is why I have an Amazon Prime subscription. So thank you, Daddy Bezos. You're doing great.
Oh wait, Mike, you watched this on Amazon Prime?
Yes, I did.
See, for me, I watched it on a website I had never heard of called Tubi.
Oh.
And it was free, and it had ads. And that's when I knew I was in for it. Was right at the beginning when I was like, oh God, they're having me watch a movie I don't even have to pay for.
Yeah, I mean, Tubi is kind of leading the charge as far as free content with ads right now. So shout out to Tubi TV. I didn't realize it was on there. Otherwise, sometimes you just want to watch it with an extra 35 minutes of Clorox ads. So
is it?
I understand that urge. Yeah.
Is it Tubi TV or not Tubi TV?
No, come on.
Hey. Gotta have the
bravo, Jess, bravo!
The nice little pun in there.
I love it.
Thank you. But yeah,
but I honestly did like this movie a lot. I think it was a little bit too long, and there were a couple scenes I don't really think were all that important. But overall, I think it's a good like coming of age / war movie. And honestly, the war scenes are actually pretty fucking horrifying. I think they did a really good job of portraying the horror of war a little bit in those short little scenes.
Well, as we like to say on this show, war is hell.
Yeah, I mean they did it better than Wind Talkers. That's for goddamn sure. But no, I like this movie. I think it's good. It is a little bit too weird, and I'm kind of surprised this movie did have like a big like opening, or it did have like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like they did try to make this movie into a blockbuster for a little bit, but I don't see it. It's a weird ass movie. I'm surprised this movie got it any more than a couple screens open at a time.
Maybe
totally
it didn't.
Agree. Like it had a $12 million budget in what 84. Like that
was a big budget.
Substantial. Yeah.
That was. And also, fun fact, this movie won the Grand Prix at the Cannes Film Festival that year. So
What?
it's the second best. It was the second best movie of 1984 whenever this movie came out by the Cannes Film Festival.
God, this
Damn.
just gets crazier and crazier. I can't
yeah.
agree. I was not a fan of this movie.
Yeah.
And then I looked at the Rotten Tomatoes scores, as you mentioned earlier in the discussion, and I was just like, am I high? Like, I couldn't believe the scores were the way that they were. I just think, I agree it's a weird-ass movie, and I agree that a lot of the scenes don't seem to fit for the plot.
Yeah.
I just think that if you're gonna do like a war movie and like the effects of war, then you don't focus as much on the birds.
Yeah, maybe one or the other. I don't know. It is kind of tonally all
Or
over
just
the
a
place.
better balance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it seems to be like trying to make a statement about how hard war is on the soldiers, but it doesn't really spend a lot of time covering that. It spends a lot more time showing them, trying to be birds and and enjoying life with birds.
Yeah, it's really weird because honestly, the PTSD and like the trauma of war is kind of the most important element, but the majority of the film is the coming of age portion. So I don't really think it works as well as it should, but I still think it's a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know how much this differs from the source material as far as like talking about wartime stuff. I think the book actually takes place in World War II and not Vietnam, but I feel like they probably put a little more weight on those flashbacks in the source material, but kind of wanted to spend more time, showing Matthew Modine's little butt crack. So
Yeah,
that's true. I honestly do think. Oh, and by the way, another fun fact: the soundtrack for this movie was by Peter Gabriel.
Oh yeah, how did we not mention that yet?
Oh shit, yeah. I did not know that. That's kind of awesome. I have to.
Yeah, Peter Gabriel did the soundtrack apparently in one weekend. Recorded the whole thing.
Oh, so we put a lot of effort into it, but
well, I mean,
and it shows.
But
hey, you know what? Listen, he took a sledgehammer to the fucking to the amount of time needed to make a soundtrack normally. So he was like, "Fuck it, I'm doing it in a weekend."
But yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of in the middle ground on this movie. Because while I was watching it, I was like, I hate this. This sucks. This is so bad. When is this going to be over?
Now we're talking.
But once it ended, I looked back and I was like, that was all right. It's a weird thing. I don't know how to explain it exactly. I was walking away and I had La Bamba stuck in my head because they played that like 5 times. And
honestly, I think I do like this movie, but I think the only thing that really could have made it significantly better in my mind was just have less coming of age stuff and more horror of war stuff. I think that would have been much better.
I think that
yes,
definitely, that definitely would have helped, and it would have like helped, expand on the theme a little bit more because it's just not present enough to really make a statement on that, I feel like.
No, yeah. And I also just think tightening it up just a little bit, maybe like 10 minutes, then that would have been perfect if you would have done all 3 of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I felt pretty much the same way as you, Jess, because like, I mean, I was kind of going back and forth throughout watching the movie where I was feeling like, I feel like there's merit to this that I just don't necessarily appreciate a ton. But also, how the fuck is this still going right now? I think.
Mike, you have to read between the lines. Is the thing.
I know.
It doesn't sound like you were doing that.
See, I was being bad at art, but
yeah.
When it comes down to it, I do think this is one of the better movies that has been made, probably after like Heat and G-Force.
But yeah, I don't know. The other thing I wanted to say is some of the acting in this movie is a little hammy, particularly Cage, but this is very early in Cage's career, so I feel like, he gets better at acting as he acts more.
Yeah, he and Matthew Modine are both very, very young in this movie. and obviously very early in their careers. And they do, they get less sexy and better at acting eventually. So
Yeah.
Like, that's your opinion, man.
one man's opinion, but I feel like it's a common one. So
But
I'm an everyman.
so that's kind of all I have to say about it. Is that what everyone has? Anybody else got anything else to throw in?
Yeah, that's all I got on this one, babe.
Okay. Dave, you want to do a plot summary?
What?
What?
Plot summary?
What?
There we go.
What?
It's like he's not even gone.
What? You know what? I will say in the absence of Dave, I will do the plot summary if that's okay.
Okay, a secondary plot summary from the co-host. Let's see how much of this you absorbed.
Yeah, I wrote a lot of notes for this. So here we go. The Birdy is an Oompa song. Its associated fad dance is now a contemporary dance throughout the Western world. This song was composed by accordion player Werner Thomas from Davos, Switzerland in the 1950s. The piece, I should say the movie, is often notated in cut time and the key of C major. It begins with repeated dominant chords before moving into the main theme.
Ooh,
the secondary theme features a contrasting rhythm. The two themes alternate. The final repetition of the main theme is often played as one continuous. I'm not even going to say that word because I don't even know. It just sounds so amazing. And I kind of want to show you an audio clip of what I actually wrote a song about the plot summary of this movie. Yes.
Wow, good job.
So this is the Birdy song I made.
This is really good.
This was bomb.
I had a feeling this is what you were talking about the more you kind of described things. But
Taylor, I have one question, Taylor. Are you Polish?
I am a Polak, yes. I'm
Okay.
very Untermentian. In the Pulaski Polka Days up in the Green Bay area, I actually organize that every year. So
Wow, that was beautiful.
absolutely.
It's very beautiful. So yes, that is my plot summary, and I think I did a better job than you, Jess. Because you're kind of a bozo and you don't do a very good job at it. So I'm sorry.
Yeah, that was a little bit better, and it was certainly no Dave plot description, but
It goes something like
yeah, because Dave is the king of it.
another favorite Polak of mine. So.
Sure.
Well, I do have some Amazon reviews for you lovers and sluts out there. If we're ready for that.
Oh, I'm ready.
I have a review from Elliot S. Rubin, who says, you have to see this movie. One of the best movies I have ever seen. I do not understand why it was not a bigger hit in the theaters. Matthew Modine and Nick Cage were great. Wow, that's really positive. That's weird.
Dude's seen one movie. Tragic.
I have a review from Jay Horton, who says, I had never seen it. Such a good movie, really good intro to Nick Cage for younger folk who only know him for his wacky stuff.
Yes.
I have a review from Michael Groach McCluskey, who is a top 1,000 reviewer on Amazon.com. Thank you, Daddy Bezos.
Talk about good Polacks.
And Michael writes, watch it right up to the end. And he says, one of my wife's favorite films, out of print, but certainly not out of mind. An excellent film that has an ending that'll keep you feeling good the rest of the week, if not longer. Buy it. Nicolas Cage's finest movie that you have never heard of. Matthew Bodine is excellent. And my wife reminds me to tell the ladies, naked. A seemingly unforgettable fan favorite that has lapsed into obscurity. Sad. So this is Donald Trump talking about.
Is that Donald Trump
Tremendous.
When you started that, you said one of my wives, and I was like, "Wait, is this a polygamist or like a Mormon?"
It could be unless
Warren
that's a typo.
Jeffs.
Yeah,
a real Warren Jeff situation, exactly. Oh my word.
I have a review from Joshua Lutz who says, "Meh, shows that movies are ever evolving, that we need to be more satisfied than before. I saw this years ago, and once again, this year to my dismay, it was boring. I think it's our culture now. We're given everything immediately when we want it. If it's not the best movie we've ever seen, it's a snooze fest. Modine is great, lots of cursing. Strange
Yeah,
writing.
Hold on.
my pseudonym is Joshua Lutz, so
But yeah, basically, the only reason you would not like this movie is if you're part of our, instant gratification millennial culture.
Listen, if you like phones, you don't like this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody's all about iPhone and hot chip these days instead of watching a good movie.
I like how he says I didn't like this either. So this person is just like, I didn't like this movie, but I think that's more a problem with our society than it is with the movie or me.
It takes a smarter person to like this movie, and that person is not me.
Yeah.
Listen, any movie fan born after 1993 only knows a few things. One, be trans. The other, eat hot chips and not like Birdy and lie.
It all adds up. I have a review from Edwin Dowenhauer who says, "Don't know. Gift for Xmas. 3 stars."
Another lovely person who doesn't know how good it is, but feels the need to review it.
And if you can't tell, it was a struggle to find like any reviews for this movie. So my apologies for that. My last review comes from, I think, a Family Guy character. His name is Mort Goldman. It says, awful. This movie was so awful, it prompted me to write my first review. The DVD is now a beer coaster. I would give it 0 stars if I could.
that is not what I thought he was gonna say, though. I thought he was gonna say this movie was so bad it made me hurt myself.
Dana, I'm just curious, why are you talking about yourself in the third person? Because you clearly wrote that review.
I did.
I have several of these reviews, Dana. I don't know how many Amazon accounts you do have, but quite impressive.
Well, it's just a hobby.
Well, I believe we found the elusive Amazon customer, right, Dana? That's you?
That would be me. There's just one of us.
Well, that's all I have for this beautiful film, but I can assure you that the reviews for next were a little bit spicier.
Okay.
I don't know.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
I don't want to get hopes up too high, but they're better than that. So, yeah.
Well, if that's all you have for Amazon reviews, and I think that's all we've got for Birdy just now, we're going to take a short little break, and then we'll be back with next.
X.
Welcome back, everybody. We're here now to talk to you about Next, the returning champion from all the way back in episode 2 and the very first matchup that we ever did on this podcast.
The first champion ever.
Yeah, the very first champion.
If you think about it, we are the champions.
Here we are.
Here we are.
Here we are.
You know what? Okay, here's a subversion here, because I always make the lowbrow references. You guys always make the highbrow references. I was making a Queen reference. You made a Lil Wayne and we need to talk about Kevin Rudolph reference, okay?
That actually happened to me last week. Somebody referenced the Queen song, and the first thing that came to my mind was the fucking Fred Durst song. And I was like, oh, no. My brain is truly rotted from this podcast, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
I also have brain rot from this podcast.
From this podcast.
And I was gonna say, Dana, if you ever listen to any Cage Fight content, make sure it's Fred Durst Friday. Make sure it's Fred Durst Friday.
Yeah, it's a combination of.
I wouldn't do anything else.
The main feed is trash. So.
Yeah. Well, anyways, getting into the movie Next. If you don't remember any of these facts, then how could you possibly forget? This movie came out in 2007, was rated R, was directed by Lee Tamahori, This was produced by several studios, including Saturn Films.
Hell
Always
yeah.
lovely to see. Runtime of 96 minutes, a budget of $70 million, and a box office gross of $76.1 million. That means this one has just
Ooh.
barely made its budget back. But as we learned from, Rodney in episode 29, it probably still lost money on the marketing budget. So,
But you know what? We count it as in the black anyways, just because.
hell yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, this got 28% from critics and 53% from audiences. So, critics, not fans, audiences, they're about 50-50.
Yeah, they're like, you know what? This movie, it's fine. Whatever. It's cool.
That's all of those fun little facts there. I think, Mike, you said you had something you wanted to talk about in place of the trivia this time, since we
Yeah,
did
we've
trivia.
already covered the trivia and about how this is based on a story by Philip K. Dick, which is a funny name that sounds like wiener.
Yeah, very, very wienerish.
Please tell me that's what you wanted to
so-
talk about, nothing else.
Yeah, I want to talk about how Philip K. Dick is kind of a funny name.
We're just here to talk about big old Schlongo.
Yeah, it's like what was Billy J. Penis taken? So
I you know what that makes me think? It makes me think of Billy D. Williams, but just Billy D. Penis. That's what I think about.
Billy D. Penis, Lando Calrissian or whatever. Anyway, so so this movie was originally purchased by a bunch of rich white people, and they were kind of shopping the idea for the movie around, and it was eventually picked up by, as you mentioned, Saturn Films.
Mm-hmm.
And so once it was picked up by Saturn Films, there was an extensive rewrite, which they kind of chose to take in an interesting direction. So
Yeah.
they basically, in the rewrite, eliminated almost all of or completely eliminated the anti-authoritarian themes in the movie or in the story. Though Nicolas Cage's character remained a meek social outcast, he is somewhat less sympathetic. He is portrayed as arrogant as well as far more prone to applying violent solutions. And the DHS's role was replaced with the FBI. So basically, they tried to lighten the authoritarian themes in this one. And, I thought I'd do a better job of explaining it, but it didn't work out that way. So.
Yeah. Well, what I read,
the old college try though.
Yeah. What I read was the original draft. Apparently, the writers had originally optioned the story, The Golden Man, differently. They said the original short story had a distinct tone of racist paranoia, so they wanted to change it and made it a story about how the DHS, the Department of Homeland Security, which I believe is only 4 years old at the point that this movie was made.
Old enough for Bryan Singer.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Sorry.
no. You got to be fair. I think Bryan Singer goes a little older than that. I think you're thinking of Ian Watkins.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to save face with a raunchy joke, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I guess they were going to have the DHS be on like an obsessive search for unconventional assets for the war on terror. They were going to be depicted as completely unregulated, like insanely powerful and just like completely ruthless, breaking laws constantly and like eager to torture and just murder civilians to achieve whatever goals they had.
They were going to make this a documentary? What?
Yeah, they were going to accurately depict the DHS.
Hey, nothing wrong with a little good old-fashioned torture.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently in the original draft too, like Jessica Biel's character Liz is like going to be pregnant with Cage's child, and when they find out, they decide they're just gonna execute her, and that makes Cage like break loose and like just determined to like keep her safe. And in retaliation, he blows up like the entire DHS headquarters with like a barrel of C4 that he'd seized earlier. It's a weird thing.
So, you know,
that's the cut of this movie I want to see.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't want to spoil my opinions too much of this movie, but that would have been an infinitely more interesting movie.
It certainly would have, yeah.
Hey,
That is fucking insane.
don't
that's
besmirch the good name of Frank Cadillac.
Yeah.
I just want to
That is
see
an
the whole
insane-
Frank Cadillac stage show.
Yeah.
I do too. It looked good.
What if they put that whole thing in this?
Yeah, if this was just like a 90-minute Netflix special of just like him doing his act, that would have been perfect.
By the way, talk about a fucking porn ass name, Frank Cadillac. I mean, Jesus Christ.
I can buy my two favorite things, which for some reason are Frankenstein and Cadillac.
For whatever reason, I thought you were gonna say Frank's Red Hot Sauce or something.
I mean, honestly, that would be a little more defensible. I mean, Frank's Red Hot is good. Frankenstein is fine. Shout out to Mary Shelley, but kind of fucking weird to pick that as your magician name.
Yeah. Well, I'll give a real quick plot summary here. We're not going to go super in depth with this one since we did cover it already all the way back on episode 2. You can go back to that and listen to that if you want to hear a more in-depth thing. Although,
Yeah, it's probably good content.
Yeah, it's definitely good content. It's not like 2 hours, 45 minutes long of us awkwardly getting our way through like one of the first podcasts we ever recorded.
Yeah, and nothing has changed since then.
I certainly haven't gotten any better at this, so.
But for a quick plot summary, Nick Cage plays Chris Johnson, a man who can see 2 minutes into his own future. However, anything that involves Jessica Biel allows him to see much further into the future.
Because he thinks she's hot.
The FBI want to catch Cage so they can use him to find a nuke being planted by terrorists that is going to blow up LA. Cage does not want to be used for his abilities and repeatedly evades capture. During this evasion, he runs into Jessica Biel, and they end up spending a few nights together and hooking up. They do the nasty.
Yeah, and she's like, "Oh God, yes. Oh, you're old enough to be my father. Oh God, yes."
You want to know where they got the coffee beans? Yes.
Yes, that fucking scene. Like,
Oh God. Oh God. Oh God, Frank, tell me about your 401k.
But eventually the FBI catches up with him and they manage to capture him, while the terrorists, who are also looking to catch Cage because they know the FBI is looking for him and they want to kill him, they capture Jessica Biel. And after attempting to use him a bit, the FBI reluctantly agrees to help him save Jessica Biel, and using Cage's future sensing abilities, they manage to do it. However, just then Cage realizes that they are too late and the nuke goes off. But we do see suddenly that all of this was one of Cage's visions, going back to the first night he spent with Jessica Biel. So he wakes up and calls the FBI agent, Julianne Moore, and tells her that he'll work with them as long as Biel is kept out of it. And that's the whole movie there.
It's a very thorough movie that requires a lot of in-depth analysis, which is why it took you 3 hours to read that, right, Jess?
Yes.
Yeah, it takes a true intellectual to really get all the themes in this one.
I mean, to be fair, you do need to have a very IQ to understand next.
Yeah. It's just like Rick and Morty.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you have to be somebody who understands the nuance of Chris Angel.
You know, even more smart than Rick and Morty, I think it's more analogous to Ready Player 2 that just came out today.
Oh, fuck.
Way to
Is that
date
real?
the episode. God.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, no, there is a sequel to Ready Player 1. It's called Ready Player 2, and it just came out today.
Because...
Oh, great. This episode isn't evergreen anymore.
It was just so timeless.
It was.
And shout out to Ernest Cline, the author of Ready Player One, who decided that the first one was so good that we would go ahead and have another. So
Exactly.
Absolutely needed that. There weren't enough references to weird nerd pop culture things. Like, we needed more.
Hey, have you guys ever heard of
exactly,
Journey, the band?
No.
Oh shit!
I don't think anybody else has heard of them, but
Gem?
I have, because I get that. I'm smart.
I hope Ready Player 2 at least has footnotes to explain all the obscure references.
It's like Infinite Jest.
Listen, have you ever heard of
A quarter of the book
Transformers?
is fucking... Yeah.
I mean, you ever heard of Transformers? And speaking of Transformers, Jess, do you have anything else to add about this?
No, I mean we could just go into our thoughts here.
Okay, if you don't mind, I'll go first because I am the baddest bitch in this room, obviously.
Wait.
I don't know. I thought this
Huge burn
movie
on Dana.
Like, you've made your point. You've made your point.
Yes. I just have to rub it in, obviously. But no, I liked this movie. I thought it was fine. And honestly, even though it's not a very smart movie, the whole like seeing in the future element was, I think, smart enough to make me think like, oh, they actually kind of thought about this movie a little bit. So,
Yeah.
it's dumb fun, but it's not like completely brain dead dumb fun.
Okay.
At least for me.
Dana, what are your thoughts since you're the other person who's seeing it for the first time? Or at least I believe it's the first time.
It is the first time, yes. So is this movie bad? Yes, of course. But is it hella fun to watch? Absolutely. It's got all of the elements of a Nick Cage film that you want. He is shirtless in one scene. He has a love interest that you cannot even conceive of him actually being with. He does magic. He beats people up. It's got everything.
All the staples.
Yeah. And I do want to reiterate your point, Dana, about Nick Cage in real life never ending up with a woman as hot as Jessica Biel. It's like my least favorite trope in movies is to have an actor who's like 20 years older than the love interest. That shit bothers me so far. I hate that shit so much. So creepy.
It's egregious in this film. Like, it's been a long time since I've seen a film with such a mismatch.
And it gets worse as his career continues because, like, he's getting older and he's still being cast alongside women of the same age, if not younger. So.
Well, and that's the thing is that he gets older and his love interest stay the same age.
Exactly.
All right.
He's a real McConaughey.
Yeah, but I looked it up because I was just like, how the fuck old was she? And she was like 25 when this movie came out.
Yeah.
God, that makes me sad because she was younger than I am now.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, goddamn,
yeah, she's younger than I am now too. So.
Fuck. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, y'all heard my thoughts on this in the second episode, but I actually kind of hope you didn't listen to that one, frankly. This movie, I don't know. I think this movie has a pretty cool premise that I wish was in a better movie. You know, like, I like the idea of, like, the action scenes where they can see into the future and use that to, like, pick stuff out. I think that's kind of cool, but, like, I don't know. This movie is frankly very unmemorable.
Yeah, I agree. And it's very generic. It's extremely generic.
I'll say, like, I was, like, watching and I paused it. The whole time I was thinking, like, gosh, this is a lot of lead up. Like, pretty soon, like, the real movie will start, you know? And I realized I paused it and I had 27 minutes left.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, I usually have the opposite problem where I'm like, there can't be more than 15 minutes left, and I look and I'm 22 minutes into the movie.
I normally have that problem too, but yeah, this was unique in that regard where I was like, God, all the plot has been like really dumb so far, and like we're gonna get to the good stuff, and we didn't get to the good stuff.
No,
it's a kind of one of those dumb fun movies where, like, this is the kind of movie that I would watch on the USA channel on Memorial Day or something. You know?
Yeah.
Like
Memorial Day movie marathon.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna, you know, if I'm flipping around streaming services, I'm not gonna be like, hey, should we watch next? But I mean, it has some fun to it. I think the biggest thing I can say is that, you know, it kind of put Philip K. Dick on the map. So
yeah, well, it made all those dickheads real happy.
Yeah, hell yeah, dude. You know, I will say though, talking about Memorial Movie Marathon, I actually thought this would be like a Veterans Day like movie marathon, and they just get like former Trump admin officials to host it. They got Rudy Giuliani hosting it or something.
Enlist now, and now back to next.
But yeah,
this was really like a weird sequel to that old MTV dating show Next.
Oh yeah,
But yeah,
I was like, oh shit, I love that show, and then I watched this movie, and I'm like, is this like an anthology series? Like, what is this?
yeah. I watched.
Yeah, I would next this guy right away.
Honestly, the next dating show is like Halloween 1 and 2, and then Halloween 3 is this movie basically. It's the best. It's the best next movie.
There's also a new show that just started called Next, which is
shit.
not related to this, unfortunately. So don't fucking watch it. Don't give them the time of day.
Don't
Is that
give
like the
them
curse?
satisfaction?
Is that like the Halloween 6 of the next franchise?
Yeah, kind of. It's got a new guy and he's uglier, and it's not gonna last. So.
So there are a few things in this movie that I did want to mention specifically, which are just dumb little things, but there's an actual, like, okay, zoom in, enhance moment, like, where they find, like, the fucking license plate for a car. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's a very CSI moment.
Yeah, and, I don't know, that wonderful scene where he's running through all the scenarios to get Jessica Biel to talk to him, which is, like, why it's excusable in this movie, right? That he's like 50 and she's 25, because he can see all the future ways and work his way into her head.
Yeah, he can eliminate all the ways to be even more rapey.
Yeah.
And pick something a little bit more conservative.
Yes. And the line about the fucking coffee bean, like, do you know what coffee bean they use here?
That's
This one is where she just said "don't" before he even did anything.
That was the best one. Yes.
You know what honestly would have been a more appropriate romantic match in this movie would have been Julianne Moore and Nick Cage. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I thought that.
Mm-hmm.
They honestly had more chemistry than Nick Cage and Jessica Biel did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, magicians, they like them young, so...
That's true.
But one thing I'm gonna ask is, do you think while they're having sex, he can foresee all the possible futures and figure out the way to, like, have the best time for both of them?
Well, you know what, Mike? You talked about magicians like I'm young. He's like, my next trick is I'm gonna make the age of consent disappear.
Oh God, no. He's not Bryan Singer, okay? He's he could be a libertarian, though. We don't know. I'm sorry.
Nick Cage really does he strikes me as a libertarian, and Frank Cadillac definitely strikes me as a libertarian. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I don't know. That's really all I have to say about this. It's a movie. It's certainly a thing you can turn on. It's an action movie that, like, don't need to pay very close attention to it. You just turn it on and turn off your brain. That's how I feel.
Exactly. It's a perfect movie for that. It really is.
Absolutely.
So, I guess, Dave, do you have, like, a summary of this one?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay, so I do have a plot song. I decided not to write something this time because it took like 3 hours to write something last time. So I just decided to bring up a short little clip here, a song that I made actually about this movie. So.
Oh. Hello, copyright strike.
I would love to give a special shout out to this song.
Oh yes, that was a song I actually wrote. Believe it or not.
Wow.
Yeah, and
you got to be rolling in the dough now.
Can really get in the mind of a woman.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to be fair,
so Taylor really understands the mind of women. And Taylor also actually fucked Pete Davidson to prepare for that song.
Yeah, I did.
So,
and that's why he's so insufferable now. Is that he's like, after we dated and I broke up with him, he's like, I'm gonna be insufferably unfunny from now on.
Yeah, that's why.
And also I will say, speaking of understanding the mind of women, the movie What Women Want, that was actually
the Mel Gibson vehicle.
Yeah, I wrote that, and I also later wrote Mel Gibson's anti-Semitic meltdown.
Yeah, you actually, when you cast Mel Gibson in that movie, that was before we really knew what a piece of shit he was, but you did know, and that's why you cast him.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, Mel, if you get pulled over, you have to say something really anti-Semitic.
And he's like, no fucking problem. Can I throw in the N-word?
And it's like, yes, you can. So yes, that is my plot synopsis and plot summary. And frankly, Jess, mine was better than yours, just like always.
Oh yes, you were right.
Yeah, that's really good.
Mike, do you have any trivia for us? Or I'm sorry, plots, Amazon reviews. That's the thing. I know what this podcast is about.
I do have some Amazon reviews.
You promised they'd be spicy.
I'm so ready, dude.
First, I would like to say that there's a lot of people, on the hater end of the spectrum who were saying things like, "If I could see into the future, I want to watch this movie."
Oh, clever.
But actually, I
Fucking
would
sick
like
burn.
to assert that if you fucking would pay attention, he can only see 2 minutes into the future. And so the runtime of this movie actually is a lot longer than that. So if you could see into the future as he could, you'd probably be somewhere towards the end of the opening credits. So
Wow.
I hate to be harsh, but kill yourself.
You know what? I didn't realize we had logic nerd Ben Shapiro on to explain that joke.
Yeah, sorry. My sister's got milky jugs. So I have a review from El Holto, who says, "Great little known Nicolas Cage film. Truly awesome movie, very unique and engaging plot, and 2 main females in film are very appealing." I love
Well,
Nicolas
when you
Cage.
call them females, that's how you know you respect them. 2 main females.
Oh, God.
Doesn't
I
pass
lo-
the Bechdel test, I don't think.
Well, the movie does. But this
Oh, my
review
fucking
may be a little problematic. And El Holto goes on to say, "I love Nicolas Cage, so that alone makes the movie worthwhile."
Not my best review, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
But it's really cool, and Cage's magic tricks are super cool and entertaining. Well worth watching. You'd sound smart, El Holto. I have a review from Mishka the Amazonian, which I don't know if.
Oh, this is a good
That's
one.
Jess.
This is a good one.
That's Jess.
Yes, I'm an Amazon woman.
And Mishka writes, "It's Nicolas Cage. Need I say more?"
Oh,
Yes!
there we
And
go.
yet
We
I
got
bet they did
another
say more,
soundbite for
didn't
the
they?
soundboard.
Well, it's Nicolas Cage. Why
Please
not?
play it.
Well, it's Nicolas Cage. Why not?
So I had to include this one. And Mishka writes, "I'm a Nicolas Cage diehard fan. Come on the podcast. So it was only a matter of time before I would have to watch this. The premise behind the movie was solid. Cage's acting was solid, but the screenplay in the second half of the movie went south real quick. There were just too many blatant mistakes in the screenshots that were cringeworthy sprinkled through the movie. Overall, it was a solid 3. I've seen much better from Cage, but in this instance, I can't really blame Cage, but blame the screenplay writers and director on this one. Reasonable entertainment for a Sunday afternoon."
Now hold up. She said she was a diehard Cage fan. Doesn't she know that was Bruce Willis?
You would think, but it sounds like Mishka the Amazonian has had one too many on this Sunday
Automatically, I
afternoon.
discredit whatever she says.
Mishka, you're canceled. Have fun with that. I have a review from M. Foster who says, "What a good movie. One of I just want to stop real quick and say that in going through reviews of this movie, I see a lot of misspellings of Nicolas Cage. This one is probably the best.
Is it is it with a CH? Because that's what everyone does.
No, this one is Nicolis.
Okay.
Nicolas. One of Nicolas Cage's best movies, all around good story, good acting, and yes, by Mr. Cage.
And yes, by Mr. Cage.
This is all like one sentence separated by a bunch of commas, so I'm just trying to figure out where the emphasis is supposed to go. Jessica Biel was great, and damn, she's a nice-looking woman.
I'm sorry, we call them
Julianne-
females, okay? We
Yes.
call them
Oh,
females.
Sorry,
females around here.
They are females, femoids, or broads. Julianne Moore was believable. The bad guy was good as well. Mr. Smith, Thomas Kretschmann, and it was nice to see Peter Falk as Irv. I don't know what this person's saying. But great review, 5 stars from M. Foster. I had a review from WMG Russell, 5 out of 5 stars if you're interested in space-time.
Okay, so you
This
said
is-
WMG Russell, so Warner Music Group Russell, right?
Yes.
Is that Russell Simmons, or is this?
It's one of those guys. This is an excellent movie. A love for physics drives my interest in any movie dealing with space-time.
Oh, go to hell.
Yeah, like, come on.
Interstellar, Arrival, and the classic by H.G. Wells, The Time Machine, are some of my recommendations. Now, this is a great movie for lovers of space-time, physics in general. Jess, I know you're a huge physics head, so you probably were doing equations throughout the entire runtime of this one.
Yeah, I was running through general relativity equations about the curvature of space-time as he looks 2 minutes into the fucking future. God damn it.
This is another movie where it does take a certain level of intellect, and you can enjoy it as a low level. We call them mouth breathers, but you really kind of get the full experience if you are a little bit more versed in science. So
Yeah.
thanks to WMG Russell. I have a review from Dean that says fun and action-packed. And Dean writes, 3 motivations collide, and a hero underdog that surprises his opponents with a sly gift.
Wait,
No.
what?
What was that? He didn't watch the movie that we watched.
His opponents
I don't
were
think
so
so either.
surprised at his abilities and not like literally looking for him because of those abilities. No.
Well, just the way that Dean words sly gift makes it seem like there was something much more sinister going on.
Yeah, really, right?
Or at least
Yeah.
clever. It's not like it takes a lot of thinking to be born with an ability to see 2 minutes into the future. I don't know.
Hey, they pulled up the thesaurus and they picked one, and that was it. So, I have a review from Wisp who says, "Get the popcorn and relax if you can."
Oh,
I can. I could.
Would you like to know what's coming your way? This movie is a love story with the pros and cons on knowing what the next moment brings.
Okay, it's not a love story. They knew each other for a few hours.
Yeah.
yeah. And I will say too, Mike. I will say too, Mike. You talk about knowing, right? I think
Yeah.
you meant to watch Knowing, not this movie.
I think so. Because knowing in this are pretty much the same, except for I think his wife is dead in that one, and so we don't have as much of this nonsense.
Yeah, and knowing his wife was a dumb bitch and died in this movie. He doesn't have a wife, I don't think. In this movie.
Yeah, he probably killed her. I have a review from Kathy Price who says The Gift of Prophecy. Sought out by the police to help catch a bomber, he uses his skills to help track him down. The bomber takes his girlfriend also, where he uses his gift to be able to see into the minds and thoughts and sees every move the bomber makes. But
Don't they know these are supposed to be reviews and not plot summaries?
Yeah, that's my
how
job.
do you feel about it?
we'll see. Sometimes a review it just involves explaining what happened for the uninitiated, so they can go in knowing what to expect.
Just give a debrief before you get into it.
But all is not easy, because within they have to get past the good and evil going on all around them in a world of human beings and chaos.
I'm
Thank you,
not
Kathy
sure that
Price.
I picked up on that part of the movie.
Well,
Navigating a
you'll
morally
have to-
gray world. I don't know.
Yeah, there wasn't any of that. It's all pretty black and white.
I've just a few more. I have one from Run Hot who says, "Cool show. Terrible you can't save to your PC's hard drive, so can't recommend buying instant videos any longer."
The fuck?
That's a hot
Ah!
And okay, so this next review is actually kind of a big deal for me, because I think, and I could be wrong, but this is the first repeat reviewer that I'm positive I have read one of these person's reviews on our podcast.
Hell
Okay,
yes.
so
I'm excited.
Before you say it, let me guess. Is it the person who made the really hypersexual crudes review, or is it the guy who made the racist 9/11 review?
Man, I wish it was one of them, but it was Saved by Grace.
Oh.
Who says, skip it. Watch out for Jessica Biel's big God D word line. Definitely not for anyone under, say, 21.
Okay.
So
right.
yeah, Saved by Grace wrote a review for a previous movie. I can't remember which one, but was also mad that somebody said the God D word.
I do
phrase.
remember that. Yes, I don't recall the episode, but I do remember that.
You know, honestly, you're probably right, but this reminds me of the person who was offended by the fake Grace line in Astro Boy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's, you know what? That might be what it was.
Just the most innocuous criticisms of movies you've ever seen.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
I'm almost 28, which means I could only have seen this movie for about 7 years.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to take the Lord's name in vain, make sure that you're at least legally allowed to drink in most of the 50 states. I don't know.
And make sure you're allowed
and
to
now
smoke
buy
in
cigarettes.
most of 50 states too.
Mhm.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, unfortunately. Rest in peace to all the 18 and 19-year-olds who were able to smoke before.
Yeah, but you can freaking get Obamacare and get crack as an 8-year-old. So
That's true, yeah.
well, I have one last review from Robert, who says trash. Nothing incredible
shit.
about it. Might as well be in the science fiction genre.
Oh, I'll throw hands with this guy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, well,
Might
you
as
know
well
what?
be science fiction because the physics don't add up here.
Of course they don't.
You know, Dana, I'll tag team you up on that fight. We're gonna beat this guy's ass.
Wait.
Oh, no doubt. I can't wait.
Now, hold on. This person is being directly contradictory to the other person who said that that we needed, big brain, science brain in order to understand all of what's going on here. It's on the level of Interstellar with its science, and
And this is so nonsense. It might as well be science freaking fiction.
when I go to a movie, I'm looking for cold, hard facts. No fiction.
I almost thought that wasn't a true story.
Do I want 2 hours of lies beamed at my eyes? No.
No, that's why I watch God's Not Dead every week.
This person's like, you know what? I only want to watch movies about real life shit. That's why I only watch movies like Family Man.
Hey, do you guys wonder how many times there was a nuclear bomb in this country and it took a hero who could see 2 minutes into the future to save us all, but we don't even know about it?
See, that's the scary thing, is that 2 minutes from now could be our ultimate doom, but somebody with a pretty bad wig is out there trying to stop it. That was all I had. So I'm ready to get to a vote. Ready to get to a vote if you frickin' chaps are ready.
Let's do it.
Jess, can you do a countdown?
What?
Jess, can you do a countdown, Jess?
What? No.
Jess, fuck it, let's do the countdown.
No.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do the countdown.
All right.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Birdy.
Next.
Birdy. Oh, God damn it! The guest always fucks it up. Okay, never mind. Okay.
Thank you, Dana, for siding with me that next is the better picture here.
All right,
Okay,
so
so-
I got a little worried that this would happen because we don't have a tiebreaker. We really have to make our cases
I
here.
knew it. I knew this was gonna happen. I'm so excited.
Oh wait,
Okay.
here's- Dave, which do you think should win? Is it next?
What?
Is it next?
No.
Well, there we have it. That's the tiebreaker. Birdie wins.
Oh,
Yep, Birdy wins. Birdie wins.
No,
Jess,
we'll have to
stop
argue this.
the vote. Stop the vote.
Stop the count.
Recount.
Stop the count.
No, but
Are we gonna have our own? You know what Jess just did? She did the Brooks Brothers riot, but of this episode. Oh my God!
Coffee
Jesus Christ.
company, right?
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah.
My reasoning for picking Birdy over Next is that I swear to God, 15 minutes after seeing Next, like everything about this movie just falls out of my brain. Like I completely forget this movie. Like I don't know. It exists like ethereally and just I don't know. Multiple times throughout the week, I was like, "What movies are we covering?" It's Birdy and what the fuck's the other one? And I'd have to go look up the bracket. And I'd already seen this one. So I'm sorry.
I chose Birdy. I chose Birdy because even though I feel like I had the most positive opinion of this movie, I kind of go along with Jess. Like Next is such a forgettable fucking movie.
And that's why we need to keep watching it, baby. It's a Nick Cage staple.
One of these times it'll
we'll
stick.
Remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like Family Man. If we listen to it enough, it'll eventually stick in our brains forever.
Look, Birdy is gonna win the Matthew Modine bracket. That ain't what this podcast is. Okay? Next is a quintessential Cage film, and out of the two, that's the one I'm watching again.
See, I firmly agree. That's where I'm at. Next is the Cage movie of these two movies, and I don't think you can deny that. And maybe if you can see 2 minutes into the future, you can tell me if you pull your fucking head out of your ass.
All right, you know what?
God
Listen,
damn.
just because I want to improve Jess's long-term memory when it comes to movies, I'm choosing Next.
Oh,
God damn it. Okay.
Oh!
Well, that's quite the shift.
I'm doing it. And listen, I'm also choosing Next because it's also 30 minutes shorter.
It is certainly shorter. And I suppose I can't be that upset because I'll forget everything about this movie, and next time I'll see it, it'll be like I haven't seen it before.
And hey, here's another thing, is that there's no line in Next where Nick Cage is like, well, we're not queer together if that's what you're thinking.
True.
Okay, to be fair though, even though Nick Cage is problematic in Birdy, Nick Cage is also very problematic in Next.
More on like the
He's
sort of
very
rapey side. I don't know if a relationship can truly be said to be consensual if you can see into their future and figure out the best way to make them be with you.
Yeah, but at least he's straight.
And also, and also the age difference. And you know what? I'm not going to excuse Nick Cage's misogyny in Birdy, but he is also a fucking teenager. So it's like, whatever. It's not good, but it's like, hopefully he grows out of it. But in this movie, he's like 45 and acting like this. There's no excuse for that shit.
It's Next. I'm sorry. It's Next.
Yeah,
it's Next. It's just got to be Next. So,
well, I still stand by. I don't know, Birdy. You know, it may have failed, but it tried. That's you know. And if
all
y'all
I gotta say,
I think you two, you three need to learn to support our troops, and
you know what, and that's the thing. It might have not
learned.
And you know what that thing, Birdy might not have ever gotten off the ground, but it did try to spread its wings.
Yes, yes, it did.
But all I have to say is, Jess, maybe you would see the true value in voting for Next if you had a little bit of an understanding of physics.
Yeah, and you know what? And I will say, even though I've made this joke several times and it's clearly not very funny, I'm so fucking grateful I get to watch next episode. Next. Thank you. Next.
Yes. We can continue making Ariana Grande jokes all the way into 2021 when we watch this again.
She'll have like 8 more albums out by then, and we'll still be talking about that one song.
I mean, to be fair, speaking of Ariana Grande and jokes, never mind, I won't get into that. Whoa.
Wait,
had to do it.
Have we tried any Ariana Venti bits or
I haven't heard that.
Ariana
maybe best
tall.
Yeah.
Well, vote on Twitter. What joke is most hacky, and we'll do that one. So
I think we should ask Dan Schneider's opinion on when Ariana Grande was the hottest.
Oh, I think we should lock him up.
Or when her feet were the hottest.
Oh yeah, definitely early. Definitely the first episode of Victorious for sure.
Oh,
Definitely like early Victorious.
I think
You think?
I think that settles it. Not to stifle the foot talk, but
That's a private convo.
I think next comes out the winner. So sorry, Jess.
Yeah.
Sorry, Alan Parker or whoever the fuck, and sorry
Yeah.
to all of our veterans who fought for this country and became a bird because of it.
Yeah, and I will say, apologies to Quentin Tarantino and Dan Schneider, but we do have to put our foot down and end the review. So,
Dana, thanks for coming on. Is there anything that you want to plug? I know you have I didn't mention it before, but you have a podcast called Sweet Little Ladies that is a great podcast. And is there anything else that you want to plug?
Well, and I'm also co-hosting right now a podcast called Welcome to Reality. We just watch different reality shows and let those rot our brains and riff.
Hell yeah!
Oh yeah!
Nice.
Love it. Love a good guilty pleasure reality show.
Absolutely, and we've never needed them more than we need them.
Oh yeah. So
Have y'all ever
reviewed
reviewed Next?
Oh
Yeah, I was gonna say, you ever reviewed Next, the dating show?
Oh God, I hope so. We've talked about it actually.
Yeah.
I will make it happen.
Make it a crossover.
Yeah.
We'll get the old gang back together. But yeah, we watch it's stuff like that, or it's Real Housewives, or it's weird shows about large religious families who don't let their kids have sex.
Yes, you're talking about my 600-pound religious life, right?
That's one of them. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Well, that's awesome. So check out those podcasts. And I think your Twitter is air_head, right?
Yeah, air being EHR _ head. But yeah, thank you guys for having me on. This was super fun, and I would not have watched those movies otherwise.
Oh no, absolutely. It was great having you on.
For that.
You're fucking awesome.
Oh, thank you. You guys are fun.
Hell yeah.
Thanks so much, Dana. Well, what are we covering next time, Jess? Actually, I should have talked to you about that. I do have we're next time we might be covering Into the Spider-Verse.
Ooh.
Versus Amos and Andrew. Yeah, we'll talk about that. I'm a bad host. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and also, is there something we can plug, Jess?
We have a Patreon.
We do have a Patreon. Please go give us just a little bit of cash over on patreon.com/cagefightpodcast. And toss some money our way if we make you laugh occasionally. We'd appreciate it.
Yeah, or if we make you laugh never and you feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah. Throw us some pity money.
Yeah, if you want to do like one of those like sponsor an orphan like podcasts.
Help
48 cents a day.
Help keep the blinking lights on all this electronic equipment as it records.
Yeah, please do.
It's like they just show Dave's face. Like, you could, for 35 cents a day, you could help save Dave. From the show.
Yeah, we're actually, the reason he's not here is because we're holding him in a room until we make enough money to let him out. So, Dave, do you deserve to be let out of that room?
No.
Yeah, that's right. Not until we make like $20 on Patreon.
The sooner that you give us money, the sooner we will let Dave out of his cave.
Mm-hmm.
Or his cage.
The Dave cage.
Out of his Nicolas Cage.
Dave
yes,
Cage.
Nicolas Cage.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
But that's all for the podcast. So join us next time where we'll probably be talking about Into the Spider-Verse and Amos and Andrew. So have a good one. Bye-bye.